part 2 of our 2-part series on how to find the best trauma treatment trainings. You are watching the Trauma Treatment Collective vlog. I'm so happy you decided to check out this video. So in part 1, we talked a little bit about identifying your ideal client or your client avatar. We also talked a little bit about niching within a niche and the importance of identifying what is your focus in trauma treatment, like where do you want to focus your time and your energy. And then we also talked a little bit about taking those two things and kind of identifying the needs of your client avatar and what your focus is, and then using that to narrow down the trauma treatment training list. So if you didn't watch that, I would encourage you to go back and watch that. It was a pretty good one. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about theoretical orientation and top down and bottom up, and how you can use those things to be able to help you to narrow down your trauma treatment training list. So there are tons of trauma treatment trainings out there, and the more and more we continue to move into becoming more trauma informed, the more and more we are finding more opportunities to grow our skill set in trauma treatment. But as you begin to do that, what I started to learn is there were certain trainings that I was drawn to, certain trainings that really resonated with me and really fit with the way I like to work. And I started to identify that they were more bottom up approaches. And if you've never heard of bottom-up approaches before, there is a term, or there's terms that call top-down approaches and bottom-up approaches. And what that's talking specifically about is the brain and what parts of the brain are activated when you're treating trauma with that particular approach. So cognitive-based approaches like prolonged exposure, CBT, those kinds of things are more top-down approaches. And then bottom-up approaches are things that are activating the bottom of the brain, or the reptilian part of our brains. That is more like somatic experiencing, sensory motor psychotherapy, trauma-informed yoga. Those are those types of trainings. And so I started to realize that I was more into the bottom-up approaches. So that started to help me to identify what trauma trainings are specifically bottom-up approaches. Then I started to think specifically about my theoretical orientation. If you've ever been in graduate school and you've had to write that lovely paper about what's your theoretical orientation, you may be very familiar with what types of theoretical orientations you're drawn to, what's your values, what is the way you like to work in trauma, in the therapy room. And so that's a way to be able to really start to narrow down in what's going to fit with your theoretical orientation. So as you read about the different trainings, what ones seem like they are aligned with who you are and the way you like to work and the way you like to deliver treatment. And that also can help you to narrow down your niche. So those are some ways to think about it. So are you more of a top down or bottom up? And then once you figure that out, what types of trainings fit with your theoretical orientation? I have 2 lovely blogs on my blog, on my website, which I will link to in the comments section, that may be able to help you to learn a little bit more about the top down and bottom up approaches, as well as how to use your theoretical orientation. So check out the comments below and I will link to those and you can read a little bit more. Stay tuned for our next installment on the vlog. It'll be coming next week and I look forward to seeing you then. Take care.